Hey, what's up, Reefers? Before we get started with the 45-gallon tank update today, check out the jellyfish art tank that my nephews has set up.
We're setting up the jellyfish tank.
Welcome back. I think they're doing a pretty good job. What do you think? Alright, one last thing. Me and Sally are going to be at Reefer of New York in 2 weeks, and if you are going to be there, hopefully we get to meet each other. Be sure to flag us down and say hello. I would love to meet you guys in person. Let's get down to the tank update. So things are going pretty well with the 45-gallon tank. It's not fantastic because I am having issue with certain corals, but I will get down to it a little bit later. Let's start with the more obvious member of this tank, the green-blue chromis. So if you remember, I started out with 11 of these guys and they are doing pretty good. Now I am down to 9. And it's kind of weird. The 11th member died maybe like 2.5 weeks ago and it just died. There's no rhyme or reason why. The last one that died, the 10th one, it actually jumped the overflow. It's like the smallest member of this shore. It jumped the overflow. I fished it back out within a day, and overnight something nipped it. So there's like a huge piece missing from the fin, so it's not swimming right, and just really obvious that it is time for it to go. So as expected, it passed away over that night. It did not make it through the night. So from that nips, it looks like a fish nipped it in the fin. It's either the female clown actually got to him, or other members of the shore got to him, and that big chunk out of the fin really like took away his ability to swim. So without the ability to swim and compete, it just perished, which is really sad. But the remaining line looks really healthy, and they're all around the same size. So I have high hope for these guys. And these guys are becoming coy as I get near the tank. Let me see if they do it. As I get near there we go. Look, they all just kind of come right up to the surface waiting to be fed. I don't know, I mean, it's kind of cute, but at the same time I kind of wish they'll continue to act normal. And of course the female clown's flipping out. And again, when you see this aggression, I was wondering if the female clown actually managed to grab that 10th green chromis that I lost and managed to take a bite out of the little fish. Either way, bad situation, but that happened about a week and a half ago, and since then everything has been calm. So in terms of fish, everything else just seems pretty happy. The second animal I want to talk about is the Derissa clam. As you can see, the mantle is turning a lot more brown compared to how I had it before. I am a complete newbie when it comes to clams, so I'm leaning on the knowledge of you guys who are more advanced than me. Is this an indicator that it is not getting enough light? Because when I first got it, the pattern is a lot more obvious on the mantle, now it's just more brown. Is it an indicator that it is hosting more symbiotic algae in order to produce enough sugar for energy? I am not sure. If it is, then I should do something about my lighting, because I think it is at max already. And I think the par is about 150 in that area. So if you have any input on this, please leave a comment. I really appreciate it. So for the next guy that I want to talk about, we got to swing around to this side of the tank. If you look on the orange Yuma Ricordia, you see the Patterson cleaner shrimp. I have 3 of these guys in the drop-off tank. I had to move them out when the frogfish got in. So they have been in this tank for a while. Now, I lost one of them, I think 3 days in. It just kind of disappeared. But the other 2 are doing excellent. One of them just loved this orange Yuma, has been chilling on there for the longest time. And the other one just kind of roamed the tank. I actually have no idea where it is. But whenever I start feeding the tank, you see him just kind of bounce out of wherever he was hanging out and just beg for food and fight for the food. So it's really awesome. Love these little guys. It's just a shame that they don't seem to be paired up. So it is what it is. They'll live their separate single life. This next update I'm pretty sad about is about my Space Invader Pactinia. I think that's how you pronounce it. It is my pride and joy of this 45-gallon tank, but it is not doing well, and that's why it's up here on the frag rack. Let me swing around to the other side, see if we can see this. So if you can kind of spot it, at the tip of the Space Invader, some of the skeletons showing. The tissues are receding, and I have no idea what's causing it. It was down here before, right in this spot, but I guess it was not happy with something here, so I just kind of plucked it out. It was getting a little bit too large anyway. It's kind of shading itself. So I kind of move it up here, and it's been up here for about a week. One thing that I noticed is that ever since it's been here, the feeder tentacles has been super aggressive. The tentacle is out all the time, and it is readily accepting food, so I have been just jamming the tank with food and just feeding this guy. And I think the tissue is doing a little bit better. At least on this side, it's really full and healthy looking. But on the other side, where the skeleton was exposed, it is not really healing yet. Maybe it's a slow process. Green Chromas, please get out of the way. So yeah, I'm gonna give it some time, continue to feed it heavily, maybe like 3 times a week. But as you can see, all the tentacles always out, which is a great sign. At least the colony seems to be healthy, and the deterioration seems to have stopped. Actually, you know what? I don't know. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, depending on how much the tissue inflate. So I'm kind of watching out for it because my intention is to frag it a little bit. Some people already asked for frags, and I promised them already. I want to frag it, but I'm kind of wait to see the health of this colony first to decide when is the best time. Or maybe it's receding so much and it's affecting everything that I just need to do an emergency frag and spread. We will see. I'll keep you guys updated. Next up, I want to talk about something rad and cool and unusual. This guy. This plating sponge. At first, when I first got it, I didn't think too much of it. It's kind of maroon drape. Doesn't look as awesome as the photo. But I started looking online for some photo of this guy, and it actually looks really cool. It's almost like a Mondipora cap, except it's a sponge, and it actually grows really fast. It's a photosynthetic sponge. It's growing onto that rock right now, and it's actually encroaching onto the 24K gold. I'm not gonna pronounce it. But it's actually growing well. It's already spreading already. So what I'm gonna do is actually break that off, since there's some pieces on it already. I'm gonna move this somewhere else to populate this rockwork somewhere with this sponge. And this is yeah, I was kind of surprised I actually like it, but you know what? I like Monty Cap, and this is like a different color morph. It's just really cool. It's like a sponge that grows like Monty Cap, which is awesome. And that's actually the perfect segue to talk about the Mondipora cap. Man, look at this guy. So if you follow me on Instagram, I mentioned that maybe like 2.5-3 weeks ago that all my SPS seems to be losing color. And I remember this happening when my GFO was running too aggressively. Like I just got new GFO, things are doing well. It seems to suck the color out of the SPS. I think the SPS may need a little bit of phosphate in order to stay colored up. I know there are other things that affect things too, but with that in mind, I took the GFO offline and just run carbon, and sure enough, the color came back within a week. Now again, please don't take this as what you need to do if you're losing color in SPS. There are a lot of factors to it. It's just that for this tank, I remember as soon as I run GFO like raw, like if I just crank it up, it just cleans out, they just wipe out all the phosphate, and especially the Monty Cap seems to suffer from losing color. And right now, color is back, and I love this kind of deep maroon-ish or deep pink color. I really like it. The contrast between the deep pink and the white growing edge is just awesome. But the trade-off is that I get a light dusting of algae on the sand now, especially because recently I have been feeding the tank really heavy frozen food just to kind of like accelerate the health, the healing of the Space Invader. So it's kind of like a trade-off. So I may need to start running GFO again, but I may dial it back a little bit so I don't run as much or as fast a flow through it. So we'll see how it goes. But check out the growth, man. I just love it. I love Monty Cap. But I may need to start fragging it because it started shading this guy right here, and it started shading the hammer. So I'm gonna break off a piece, and then I'm gonna try it out in the drop-off tank. What do you think about growing the Monty Cap right there, huh? Right here. Here's a sneak peek. Where's Mochi? There's Mochi. Yeah, I may grow something here, or maybe glue them here. Just see if we can spread out here. That may be kind of cool. But we're not talking about a drop off today. Let's get back here. Alright, sorry guys, I know this video is damn long already, but there's just so much going on in this tank that I want to share with you guys before we sign off. Really quickly, the bubble tip anemone I may remove because they have been stable here, which is great, but they're stinging the crap. Well, not stinging, but they're just like suffocating the purple death down here, and also, you can't even see it now. Right back there, there's a colony of little Zoa right there too. It actually broke off a piece of Zoa and landed on the Monty cap, which I kind of left it there. I thought it may be cool if it grows. But I'm gonna address these guys right here. That is a standard green bubble tip anemone with purple tip, which is kind of cool. I'm probably gonna sell them. And this guy was actually a brilliant looking orange / yellow bubble tip anemone when I first got it. Photo looks amazing. I see it in person as like a ridiculous orange. The whole thing was orange, but unfortunately it kind of lost its color in this tank for whatever reason, either the light or the environment. But it is slowly coming back. Although, to be honest, I think this is going to be as bright as it will get in my tank. So as soon as I remove him from this rock, I'm thinking about selling him. I won this guy in an auction for 100 bucks, and that was already considered cheap. So I am not sure how much I'm going to price him at, but it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be 100. That's a little bit too much for my taste. So yeah, if you're interested in a bubble tip anemone that has the potential to go like bright Super Saiyan orange, let me know. Alright, Reefer, so the last bit of things I want to talk to you guys about is the plan for this 45-gallon tank. What is this future plan? I am going to retire this tank. The reason is that I have messed up. I really scraped up the front glass over time. You can see all these micro abrasion happening here. These are from, I guess, using the mag float or the flipper. I probably picked up some sand and just kept going without knowing it, so it's all scraped up. And as you know, glass, there's no way to buff it out, well, easily at least. And secondly, if you look at the seam, the silicone seam, these guys are peeling, and this does not make me feel good about the tanks. Just how reliable it is. So this does not help. And lastly, if you just kind of look at the tank, I mean, that part is nice, but I don't know, man. I feel like I've been trying to pack so much corals into this space and just too full, right? I'm running out of room. I just need some bigger space. So I have been looking locally for a larger system. I'm aiming for something at least 120 gallon, possibly opening up to something a little bit larger. And the reason I want to find use, number one, is going to be cheaper, right? And number two, I don't need to deal with plumbing. Everything's pre-plumbed. Because even though I have a YouTube channel, I am super new to plumbing. It scares me. Just because someone has a YouTube channel does not mean that he knows everything. I know I do a lot of things wrong. And thank you to you guys that are calling me out, because that is how I learn, right? So I'm gonna try to find a new system first. If not, then I will look at something new. But at that point, I probably need to lean heavily on you guys to help me plumb that baby. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I will see you guys at the next video.